Wamkele Mene is the first Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Operational since January 1, 2021, the African Continental Free Trade Area aims to strengthen intra-African trade by reducing custom taxes by 90% over 10 years, but above all to put in place a new economic system that limits external dependence. More about Wamkele Mene in this report.
The South African Wamkele Mene is the first Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, a trade initiative operational since January 1, 2021. His role is to help the 55 member states of the AfCFTA to enhance local production and regional trade in order to significantly reduce external dependence.
And placing our continent on a path and a trajectory for higher levels of industrialization by developing regional value chains, whether it is in automobiles, in agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, regional value chains that will enable us to leverage on this market of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP, as we speak today, of 3.4 trillion United States dollars.
Between October 2020 and October 2021, African exports to world markets jumped, standing at 42%, yet intra-African trade during the same period stood at only 20%. With the establishment of the AfCFTA, Wamkele Mene intends to contribute to the dismantling of an outdated economic model in order to widen the scope of trade between African countries.
Now have an opportunity, and COVID-19 has pushed this to the fore. We now have an opportunity to leverage on the AfCFTA to manufacture much needed vaccines here on the African continent, to establish a generic drug industry here. If we are able to reform and reconfigure our intellectual property rights regime as a continent, again, through the AfCFTA, we would be positioning ourselves for reducing reliance on others.
With COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine, the African Union has understood the need for Africa to enhance local production and consumption. Strategies to contribute to the strengthening of trade by reducing custom duties by 19% over 10 years through AfCFTA.
We know that where the agreement is implemented effectively, we know that by the year 2035, we have an opportunity to contribute $450 billion to Africa's overall GDP. We have an opportunity to boost intra-Africa trade by up to 80%. And we have an opportunity to lift almost 100 million Africans out of poverty.
Over the next few years, the AfCFTA will contribute to Africa's inclusive and economic recovery process. In this way, the African Union intends to revitalize intra-African trade and ensure that it is a drive for the continent's economic recovery.